Okay, everybody, this should be a quick video regarding the new transaction forms. This will be the new form that that all agents will be submitting their transaction information on. You will no longer be submitting this information through EasyLinks. You submit it through this form. We'll receive the information on the back end. We can confirm everything, and once all the information is confirmed, then we will submit to EasyLinks and submit for processing. In this way, this will allow us to better track the transaction submissions and make sure that everything is as accurate as possible. So we're just going to briefly go through this. The information is pretty much relatively the same as you would have input into EasyLinks. This first section, you could ignore this part. This should be where the training video is going to be uploaded when we're finished here. The next part, I already had this all filled out, so let's go ahead and refresh it. Sorry, I pre-recorded this video and it didn't work, so we're trying it again. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is input our assigned agent name. I'm just going to say that Joe Zeller is our assigned agent today, as if he was the one submitting this information. Today's date, 02/21/2020. Then you're going to list the client name, as it is in EasyLinks. I'm just going to say that today's client is myself. Corey Ferguson is our client today. Here you would put the policy number. If there is no policy number yet, which may happen on occasion, you can just put TBA. But most likely you will have a bound policy number, so go ahead and enter that here. Right here is our section where you tell us what kind of payment was made by the client. This is also, you'll see all the these options if you made the payment through the gateway. Just to go over them real quick, payment type, if they paid via cash, we do not charge any surcharge for that, but you must deposit the cash payment to our trust account within 2 business days. If they pay via e-check or EFT, we do not charge a surcharge on that. However, the carrier payment minimum turnaround is 7 business days. So that means that we have to give at least 7 business days for the EFT to process in order to clear our account. Only then will we be able to issue the payment to the carrier. We don't want to be issuing the payments any earlier in the event that the client's payment does not go through. The next option is a debit card. There's no surcharge for that. You must make sure that the client is using a debit card. The card has to say debit on it, but there is no surcharge on the debit card. If they pay via credit card, we do have to charge surcharges on those. If it's an American Express card, we have to charge 4%. If it's any other credit card, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, whatever, 3% surcharge on all others. We're going to say that just for the purposes of this video, we're just going to say that we did a 3% credit card transaction. So here we're going to list how much is due to the carrier, how much we're paying out to the carrier directly. We're just going to say that our policy was a $500 premium. Right here is where you list any retained broker fees or upfront commissions. Go ahead and list all these as a combined amount. Sometimes agents will list them as separate broker fees, commissions. They might list them as different line items. For the purposes of this form, we just need you to list them all as a combined amount. If you do want to note that they were broken down any certain way, you can go ahead and do that in the notes. Most likely they'll get paid out to you as a combined amount anyway. But you can note that at the bottom. So we're going to say for the purposes of this video that we did charge a $250 broker fee. So this is our total base charge. This is basically the amount due carrier, the number here, plus any and all broker fees, commissions that you're charging up front here. So it'll be our $500 premium plus our $250 commission for $750. Okay, and then here's where we're going to list our credit card surcharge. So earlier I said that for the purposes of this transaction, we're just going to say I'm being charged 3% on my credit card payment. So, and this amount, the surcharge is charged to the full amount that you're charging the client. So it'll be your total base charge. Basically your amount to carrier plus your broker fees equals our total base charge. We charge the surcharge on that amount. So $7.50 at a 3%, like we said, 3% here. And 3% of that is $22.50. So our total amount received from client, basically these numbers should be adding up. Our total base charge plus any applicable surcharge. If we didn't charge a surcharge, that would be 0. But since we did, we combine these two amounts. And this is the total amount that is received from our client, which is $772.50. Here's where we list which carrier we're sending the payment to. We're just going to say this is Safeco. But we need to know the specific carrier. That way we know we're paying we're paying it to the correct place. Here's where you would describe if the amount was going to be swept from our trust account. Most of the time this isn't going to be the case. But a sweep would be when we're submitting payment to the carrier, maybe on the carrier site, and it gives you the option to select sweep. That means that they are taking the amount out of our account. We're not issuing the payment to them. They're automatically deducting it from us. Like I said, for the most part, that probably won't be the case. We're going to say that that's a no here. In other words, on this, if they're going to sweep our account, that's basically telling us that we do not need to issue the payment, that they're automatically going to do it. And down here, this shows rush payment request. This must be approved by accounting department, and I'm going to read you the disclaimer here. By selecting yes, you are accepting full financial responsibility for this transaction in the event of a returned payment. Basically, this means that if you're requesting a rush payment, we need to approve that, and we can go ahead and send that out to the carrier. If for any reason the client's payment doesn't go through, you as the agent are going to be responsible for that carrier payment. Pipeline needs to be made whole on that payment. So we need to make sure that you understand that that is definitely something you want to try and avoid if you can. But again, on a case-by-case basis, we can pay out rush payments, but you will be responsible for any issues that may arise out of that. Also, in the event of a transaction, a client payment not going through, for example, via an EFT, that also incurs a $35 admin fee. And basically, in the event of an EFT would be considered fraud by the client. We don't want to be dealing with anything like that. I'm just going to say no, that we're not submitting a rush payment on here. Down here is where you would issue any notes, pertinent information, payment instructions, if there's anything a little bit more specific we need to know. I understand it's, a pretty basic form. So if there's anything more in-depth or in detail you need to notify us about this transaction, you can let us know down here. If you want to show us the breakdown of your broker fees, any of that sort of stuff, go ahead and list it right here in the additional notes comment section. When you're all finished, you hit submit, and you're all done. This goes straight to I'll go ahead and hit submit so you can see here. And there you go, transaction information has been submitted. This goes straight to us on the back end. We can check these charts. It comes in through an Excel sheet, basically. We can check it and verify it for the information. If there's any questions or anything we have on it, we can reach out to you guys. Otherwise, when the information is confirmed, we submit it to EasyLinks on the back end, and it gets processed and payments sent out to carriers. As a side note, we just want to make sure that you guys are entering all of your proper documentation on these things as well. Accounting in particular wants to make sure that we see carrier invoices so we can verify we're sending to the right carrier and the proper amounts. Also, gateway transaction receipts or deposit receipts, anything that confirms the amounts and the transaction you're charging to the client. We'll go ahead and click back. You can submit another response, and you can start all over again here. Oh, and I just thought of it. One side note here when it comes to these charges. If you do charge a credit card, anytime the surcharge is charged, the client needs to be made aware of that. Specifically, that was what the surcharge is for. In other words, when you provide them a receipt for the charge, if you charge them a credit card surcharge, there needs to be an amount listed, basically a line item that says 3% credit card surcharge and the amount. The client needs to be notified. That's law, so we need to make sure that we're following along with that. Okay, that's it for now. If you guys have any questions, concerns, feedback, go ahead and let us know. We want to make sure that we get this stuff streamlined and going well in order to prevent any sort of confusion or anything with our transactions. We want to make sure everyone, carriers get paid properly, broker fees get sent out properly. So yeah, just let us know. Thanks everyone. Have a good day.